All right, welcome everyone. Now we're going to start talking about logic flow. This will eventually turn into if-else statements, but before we start talking about if-else statements, we need to start talking about how we would even evaluate if something is true or if it's false. These are called comparison operators. Now, for comparison operators, you'll see we have double equal sign, which means they are equal to each other. And this is strict equals, both in type and in value. We have not equal to each other in either type or value. Then we have greater than, we have less than, we have greater than or equals, or we have less than or equals. So let's start taking a look at some of these examples. So we have, is A equal to B? Well, this is going to be simply answered by A double equals B. And then we have, if A is not equal to B, we use our comparison operator here, not equal to B. So this shows me that strict equals or not strict equals. Let's go ahead and execute our script here. I'm going to change directory into 3-logicflow and execute this Python script with Python 3.1-comparison.py. So now we can see the first statement comes out to be false and the second statement comes out to be true, just as we expected. There's nothing too complicated about it. Let's move down below. We want to ask if C is greater than D. Well, that would be a simple greater than by utilizing the arrow. And then we want to ask if C is less than D. And again, we utilize our arrows here to run our comparison. So now we get true and false, just like we expected. Great. Now let's move into our greater than or equals portion. So here we have E and F. I want to know if E is greater than or equal to F, which should evaluate to true because they are the same value. And I want to know if E is less than or equal to F. And again, this should evaluate to true because they are, in fact, the same value. So here we can see both of our true statements. All right, now our final comparison. In this case, we're going to go ahead and run a comparison for 3 separate operators or 3 separate values. Right, we want to find out if G is greater than H and H is greater than I. Well, what would that look like? Well, I want to know if G is greater than H and H is greater than I. I don't have to put these as separate values. I can go ahead and execute this script, and you can see that it evaluates to true. We ran this as an entire single comparison. All right, and that is it for comparison operators. There's a couple of challenges here for you guys to complete and a final exercise to tackle down. Thank you so much, everyone, and I'll see you again shortly.